Would you pay $100,000 for a pickup truck in 2025? Because that's exactly what automakers are asking. For a Sierra EV, a Ford Super Duty, even some off-road mid-size builds. Welcome to the Auto Bureau, where trucks once made sense. But today we're talking about why the entire truck market isn't just cooling off. It's headed for a full-blown crash. Sky-high prices, unsold inventory piling up, and a tidal wave of repossessions. From automakers to everyday buyers, we're about to break down who gets hit the hardest and why the crash is just beginning. 1. The ridiculous pricing problem. Let's start with the obvious, because it's impossible to ignore. Truck prices have gone completely off the rails. The Ford F-350 Platinum Tremor, that's a $101,000 pickup, not a luxury SUV, not a limited-run collector car, a work truck. A base model Toyota Tundra with cloth seats and no extras now starts over $64,000. That's the entry point. And then there's the Chevy Colorado ZR2, a midsize off-roader that once catered to budget-conscious buyers. Today, it's nearly $60,000, and all you're getting is a 4-cylinder. No V8, no diesel, just a turbocharged 4-banger and a payment plan that feels more like a mortgage. Since 2019, the average truck MSRP has jumped over 42%. 42%. And for the people who actually need these trucks, it's a financial chokehold. Today, the average truck payment is over $1,000 a month. That's not for a luxury trim. That's just average. 1 in 6 buyers are locked into those 4-digit payments, and it's not sustainable. Repos are up 23%, and banks are starting to slam the brakes. Roughly 1 in every 5 loan applications is being denied outright. You remember when 30 grand could get you into a well-equipped F-150, Ram, or Silverado, even with some bells and whistles? Now 30 grand gets you maybe half a truck, if you're lucky. We've crossed a line. Trucks used to be tools. Now they're luxury products with 7-year loans and a side of regret. Second dealerships full of dusty inventory. And just when you thought the pricing was the worst of it, here's the kicker. These trucks aren't even selling. Dealerships across the country look more like parking lots at an abandoned stadium. Massive rows of brand new pickups, just sitting, covered in dust, tires losing pressure, windows fogged over from months of neglect. Take the Toyota Tundra, once a reliable seller, now collecting cobwebs. Most of them have been sitting on lots for 220 to 250 days. That's 8 months of zero movement, zero interest. And the new Tacoma, same story. Dealers are watching them rot on the lot for 150 plus days, unheard of for what used to be one of the hottest mid-sized trucks in the country. Now imagine this, a drone shot hovering over a Ford dealership. Row after row of shiny new F-150s, America's so-called best-selling truck. Does this look like a bestseller to you? Because it looks more like a liquidation yard that forgot to send the invites. Inventory is stacking up at record levels, and there's no cavalry coming. These trucks aren't just unsold, they're unwanted, too expensive, too bloated, too late. And the worst part? Dealers can't just slash prices because they're buried under factory costs, floor plan loans, and pressure from automakers to hold the line on pricing. So instead, the trucks just sit and sit. Some dealers are even moving trucks off the main lot to make space for SUVs and crossovers, because at least those are still moving. From the air, it's starting to look like a fire hazard with chrome grills. A slow-moving disaster that nobody knows how to fix. The supply is there, the demand isn't. And every day those trucks sit, the market gets one step closer to breaking. 3. Toyota's image problem. Toyota, usually the gold standard for reliability, is also taking a hit. A major recall on the new Tundra exposed crankshaft debris left behind during engine production. That's not just sloppy, it's catastrophic. The result? Toyota truck sales are down 21%, and buyers aren't loving the new engine direction either. Twin-turbo V6s and iForce and Max hybrids might look good on paper, but they're overly complex and painfully expensive. Even moving production to Mexico hasn't lowered costs because the savings never got passed to consumers. A basic Tacoma SR5, over $43,000. That used to be a $30,000 truck, with change left over for accessories. 4. Ram and GM, the value nightmare. Now let's talk Ram and GM. Ram's throwing discounts left and right to move inventory, but if you bought a used one recently, yikes. Buying a used Ram right now is like crapping your pants and changing your shirt. It doesn't solve the problem. Then there's GM's Colorado ZR2 and Canyon AT4X. $60,000 plus for a 4-cylinder off-roader. No V8, no diesel, just price tags. And get this, buyers are avoiding used trucks altogether. Why buy used when new ones are cheaper, come with a warranty, and are being thrown at you with low interest deals? Fifth, interest rates and incentives, the bait and switch game. Let's talk financing, where things get even trickier. New trucks, you'll see teaser rates at 0% to 2.9%. Sounds great, right? But look at used trucks. Average APR is 11%. That's a brutal pill to swallow, especially when used prices are still floating above where they should be. Why would anyone pay more for a worse truck with less warranty and higher interest? Spoiler alert, they won't. And that's why the used market is tanking hard. 6, who's still buying trucks? So what is still selling? Only 2 categories, the Ford Maverick and the base Ranger STX. The Maverick's a $38,000 front-drive hybrid with a bed. It's barely a truck, but hey, at least it's affordable. The Ranger STX is about the same. Still overpriced, but not totally insane. Yet, one dealer even joked, it's not a truck, it's a crossover with a flatbed. At least it sells. 7, the future, where this crash is going. Here's where things start to get ugly. Really ugly. Right now, behind the scenes, wholesale auction prices are down 18%, and the trend line, it's still headed south. These aren't minor corrections. This is a free fall, and it's hitting dealers hard. Many are already underwater on inventory, sitting on lots full of trucks they paid top dollar for last year, expecting demand to stay strong. Now, they can't sell them, can't move them, and definitely can't offload them without taking a massive financial hit. It's like holding on to anchors in a rising tide. Some are desperately slashing prices just to break even. Others are doubling down, praying the market rebounds. But here's the problem. It won't. Not in time. Automakers know it. That's why some are quietly exploring more production shifts to Mexico and even China. Cheaper labor, cheaper materials, cheaper everything, just to stop the bleeding. But don't kid yourself, those savings aren't coming to you. The price tags aren't dropping because they want to help you. They're dropping because they have no choice. And even then, it won't happen overnight. What 2025 is shaping up to bring is a perfect storm. Massive price corrections on both new and used trucks. A flood of repossessions as overstretched buyers finally break. A tidal wave of used trucks hitting the market. Many of them from people who thought they could make the payments until they couldn't. And tightened lending from banks and credit unions, making it harder than ever to get approved. Unless your credit score is squeaky clean and your debt-to-income ratio is flawless. The writing's on the wall. The truck market is bloated, oversold, and way past its boiling point, and something's got to give. But this time, it's not going to be the buyer. This time, the market is going to have to face reality, because consumers have had enough. And no matter how shiny the grille or high-tech the dash, a $90,000 truck doesn't sell when wallets are empty and confidence is gone. The crash is here, and the bottom hasn't even hit yet. So, where are we now? The modern truck market has become a strange beast. It was built on inflated prices, dirt-cheap loans, and a whole lot of brand loyalty. But that foundation, it's not just cracking, it's collapsing in slow motion. Because the moment buyers start questioning a $90,000 pickup with cloth seats and a turbo 4-cylinder, that's the moment the whole house of cards starts to tumble. This isn't about whether trucks are still cool, it's about whether they still make sense. Once upon a time, trucks were tools for farmers, builders, tradespeople, people who actually needed a bed and a tow rating. Now, they're financial minefields, leased to the limit, stretched across 84-month loans, and repoed before the tires even wear in. This is what happens when automakers chase margins instead of buyers. When every trim becomes a luxury badge, and when a starter truck costs more than a starter home in half the country. So if you're out there wondering whether now's the time to buy, don't, not yet. Because this market, it's bloated, it's broken, and this crash is only just getting started. And here at the Auto Bureau, we're keeping both eyes on what happens next. Because the next wave won't just hit dealers and lenders, it's going to hit everyone.